Welcome to episode 3 of the Luxury Perspective. I'm Audrey, recording from Dubai. Last week, we talked about the 60 million luxury consumers who disappeared. The ones who went to the resale market because the brands stopped making them feel welcome. Today, we look at the long-term consequence of that exact dynamic. We are talking about the pipeline problem. What happens when a brand decides the aspirational buyer is disposable? Let's get into it. So, I want to pick up exactly where we left off last week. Last week, we talked about the 60 million luxury consumers who disappeared between 2022 and 2025. The ones who went to the resale market because the brands stopped making them feel welcome. Today, we are going to look at the long-term consequence of that exact dynamic. We are talking about the pipeline problem. What happens when a brand decides that the aspirational buyer is disposable? What happens when you decide that your entry-level clients are more valuable as margin than as future relationships? This is the conversation the industry is avoiding right now. Everyone is obsessed with the ultra high net worth clients. But you cannot build a sustainable luxury house by only catering to the penthouse. You have to build the staircase. Let's get into it. So, to understand the pipeline problem, we have to go back to the strategy that created it. Between 2019 and 2024, something unprecedented happened in luxury pricing. Across the major houses, entry-level prices jumped by more than 60%. Think about the classy entry-level bags. A piece that cost $5,000 in 2019 was suddenly $10,000 in 2024. The small leather goods, the accessible accessories, the pieces that historically served as a gateway into a brand's universe either disappeared from the shelves entirely or became completely unaffordable for a young professional. Now, the brands will tell you this was inflation. They will tell you it was supply chain costs. It wasn't. It was a deliberate, calculated strategy to trade up the client base. The logic in the boardroom was very clean. If we raise prices aggressively, we weed out the aspirational buyers. We serve fewer clients, but we make a much higher margin on each transaction. We reduce foot traffic in the boutiques, which makes the experience feel more exclusive for the ultra-wealthy clients who remain. And for about 3 years, it looked like genius. The balance sheets were spectacular, but it was a short-term margin grab, and it ignored the fundamental mechanism of how luxury actually survives across generations. That logic, the idea that you can keep raising prices and serving fewer people, only holds if your ultra-high net worth client base is infinite, and if it is self-renewing. It isn't. Here is the reality of the aspirational buyer. They are not nuisance. They are not distraction from your real strategy. The aspirational buyer of today is a core client of tomorrow. Brand loyalty in luxury is formed early. The first significant purchase, the entry-level buy, the wallet, the first watch, that is an emotional milestone. It creates a bond. It creates a relationship that, if managed correctly, can last for decades as that client's earning power grows. When you raise the entry price from $1,500 to $3,500 overnight, you are sending a very clear message to a young consumer. You are telling them, you don't belong here. And the problem is, they believe you. So what do? They stop wanting luxury, No, they go to the secondary market. As we discussed last week, the resale market didn't explode because people stopped wanting luxury. It exploded because luxury stopped wanting them. And this is where the pipeline problem becomes an existential threat to a brand. When a 25-year-old buys her first vintage piece on a resale platform, she's not building a relationship with your brand. She's building a relationship with the platform. You don't have her data. You don't know her birthday. You can't invite her to an event. You have lost the primary relationship. You have destroyed the staircase to the penthouse. And you are just hoping that in 10 years, when she finally has the wealth to buy at your new price points, she will somehow magically forgive you for pricing her out today. She won't. She will go to the brand that made her feel welcome from day one. From where I sit in Dubai, the consequences of this are playing out in real time. Dubai is one of the most concentrated ultra-high net worth markets in the world, but it is also one of the youngest. The average age of wealth here is significantly lower than in Europe or North America. And the next generation of Gulf wealth is watching how brands behave. These are clients who grew up with access to absolutely everything. Exclusivity in the traditional sense of a high price tag or a closed door does not impress them. They are not intimidated by wait lists. What impresses them is authenticity. What impresses them is inclusion. The brands I see winning the next generation in this market are not the ones playing games with artificial scarcity. They are the ones that make every single interaction feel welcoming, regardless of the immediate spend. I see children of legacy clients walking into boutiques. They might only be buying a small accessory today. The smart advisors treat them with the exact same level of respect and attention as their parents. Because the smart advisors know that is the pipeline. The brands that are struggling here are the ones whose staff have been trained to look down on anyone who isn't buying high jewelry. The brands that are struggling here are the ones whose staff have been trained to look down on anyone who isn't buying high jewelry or exotic leather. That arrogance is toxic to the next generation. They will simply take their money elsewhere, and they have plenty of options. So here is where I land on this. The brands that survive the next decade are not the ones that optimized for maximum margin in 2022. They are the ones that kept the staircase intact. They are the ones that understood that the relationship is the product, that the aspirational buyer is not a distraction from the luxury strategy. They are the luxury strategy. True strategic vision requires clienteling for the future 1%, not just the current 1%. The distinction between extracting immediate margin and investing in long-term loyalty is the difference between a brand that peaks and a brand that endures. If this episode gave you something to think about, share it with someone in the industry. Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. And for the written version of these ideas, the Luxury Brief newsletter goes out every Monday on LinkedIn. I'll see you next week.